hope you're all having a wonderful weekend in the sunshine. Today I'm going to be making a video all about something which I've been asked quite a few times actually. It's all about how I got into sewing, why I sew, why I started sewing, and how I learned what I know now. So it's quite a lot to talk about, so I guess I better get started. Before we start, let me quickly show you what I'm wearing. I made this, my knees are all pink so I've been kneeling on them, sorry. I made this skirt from a metre square of fabric last summer, and I'm rather pleased with it. It has a chunky exposed zip at the back. I think it's really quite cute for only a metre of fabric. I mean, the bamboo had to run this way around the waist, but that kind of works because it's, a waistband running this way around. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing today. I was born in London, and my mum, when I was a child, worked from home, and we had a room called the workroom, and that's where she did her work, and she was a seamstress. Well, she was actually technically a curtain maker, and also she made covers for soft furnishings. So I've got a photo here to show you. I've got lots of nice old photos here to share with you today. This is my mum working in her workroom. And I remember there were always loads of cactuses on the windowsill, and there's a desk there as well, this is before we got a computer, because this would have been in the very early 90s. You can see she's taking apart some kind of sofa or something here. There's all the stuffing and the wadding there. Lots of pretty pictures on the wall. So I spent a lot of time in this room growing up, as you can imagine, and I remember it vividly. There were parrots on the wallpaper, and everything was painted orange or turquoise. We were a very cool house. And my mum, as well as making soft furnishings and curtains, my mum was really good at, of course, making clothes. So she pretty much taught me everything I know. I have improved my skills as I got a bit older, but I would credit her with pretty much everything. So I've got some funny pictures here. So this is, there's lots of awkward photos of me as a child, sat on different chairs and soft furnishings, sort of modelling them when my mum had finished making the loose covers for them. But as I said, she also made some amazing clothes. So here's a beautiful dress. She always used to use really cool fabrics. This just illustrates that. There I am, having a great time. So really, really gorgeous, bold. I mean, it was the 90s. It's got to be bright, it's got to be bold, right? And she did really, really beautiful sewing. So here is a photo of her and I on our doorstep moving in. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know I still wear that fruity skirt that my mum is modelling here. And she made the little tartan dress that I'm wearing as well, as far as I recall. And here we have me modelling. I love the face on this one. You can see her taking a photo of me. We used to do little sort of, I guess like just taking funny photos really, on a film of course. And this is a little dress which my mum made me. And I'm not sure if she knit the cardi or my grandma knit that actually. I'm really not sure. But I think it was my mum. And yeah, she was a brilliant knitter and a brilliant sewer. To illustrate what an amazing knitter she is, this is basically like out of like a Cat Facet knit book or something, knitting book. This is my mum and I in Broomfield Park, which is in North London near where we lived. And I am wearing an amazing headband, which I have since recreated as an adult, with three massive pom-poms on. I'm looking very unsure about that, as you can see. And also a very snazzy knitted yellow cardi, and she's wearing a beautiful shawl and cardigan which she knitted herself as well. Not sure if she sewed the dress, but I mean she could have. She had the skills, she had the technology. So I love this photo because I just love that she basically made everything that we're both wearing, and that's kind of my ambition if and when I have a little girl or boy. I'm not sure if I will have time to, but I would like to think. I mean, my mum, she was working, she had a little girl, she still managed to, so I hope that I do too. This photo here is evidence I have always had the same hair. So, gotta love a ginormous ginger fringe. I mean, who doesn't love that? This is a photo from my 5th birthday party, so my birthday when I was in reception with my good friend Becky, and I like this photo because this is my camouflage dress, called that because I thought, okay, this is a bit of a strange story. This dress was made with leftover fabric from our sofa cushions, so so it was the same fabric as our sofa cushions, and so I used to lie there on the sofa like, I'm camouflaged, I'm camouflaged. So yeah, I used to camouflage in my bright pink flowery dress on our sofa. So So yeah, that's that. So my mum taught me pretty much everything I know about sewing, as you can tell. And I actually think I probably did a little bit more knitting growing up before I did so much sewing. And in fact, one of my first projects which I properly made for myself, and I've got this here, this very embarrassing book. When I was sort of a teenager growing up, I got really into, like many teenagers, customizing t-shirts and making bags and scarves and that sort of thing. So that's kind of how I started off. And this little book has really embarrassing collages in of me awkwardly modelling the clothes that I'd made. But these are all awkward selfies, you know. Before selfies were a thing, I was taking selfies as a teenager of scarves that I'd made and t-shirts I'd customised. So yeah, I made bags, like this kind of thing. Mostly these are made with fabric, or pretty much entirely they're made with wool and fabric that my mum gave me. You know, things, we had an amazing stash, or she had an amazing stash that she let me use very kindly, of buttons and fabrics. And that was, I think, what made learning to sew easier for me, is I was allowed to just experiment and play with these tools, these needles and pins and fabrics, and that I think is essential. If you are learning, you need to just be allowed to mess up and play and explore and fail for yourself, you know, and actually you learn so much every time. So I've got some very funny photos in here. This is the scarf which I photographed wrapped around my bed with fairy lights for some obscure reason. It was white mohair, but really high quality image there as well, on one of the first digital cameras I think we ever had. But it became like a thing that other girls at other schools had heard that I'd made my own scarf, and that kind of shows just how dwindling these crafts are. With I mean, it might be different now, you know, that was like 10 years ago, over 10 years ago. I was like 14 I think when I did that, so 12 years ago. These you know, we need to make sure these crafts are available to young people. I think that's just so important. I mean, I was really lucky. It's always been available to me to make really ugly bags like this one. My God, who needs a bag like this long and this narrow? Really not sensible, teenage Rosa. Bit of an emo shot of the side of my head. Great. I made a little quilted bag as well from like a remnant of IKEA Rosalie fabric. So yeah, lots of trial and error from this stage in my life. And I still have a top which I made, oh, it's inside out, at the time. And this, if you watch my video of what I packed for my, or what I sewed to pack for my holiday to New York, not my summer holiday, my spring Easter holiday. Not going on a summer holiday really, I think I might do a day trip somewhere, or you know, a one night somewhere. We spent all our money at Easter, frankly. Is I made this. This is one of the first things I ever made when I was about 15. It's a striped top. I drafted it entirely myself. It has two little pockets, and it's so, nothing is finished. It's just rolled. You can see all the edges are raw. But I drafted it myself by just tracing a top that I liked. As far as I even did the sleeves myself. It's crazy, really. But actually, this is a great top to take on a flight. Throwing it out there. So I still have it. I still wear it with little leggings and stuff for flying, and I still really love that. One of my more successful makes from that time period, I mean, it's the only one that survives. It probably is the most successful, if we're honest. That's like over 10 years old now. I also did, to further my skills, I did GCSE and A-level textiles, and I have a picture here of the beautiful dress I made for my GCSE textiles project, and it had a gorgeous fuchsia net trim, lots of bias binding for no apparent reason, and Chinese silk in the neckline. Really just weird, but I drafted it myself again. It took a very long time for me to actually use a commercial pattern. My mum bought me one for a wraparound skirt with Velcro. I remember that when I was about 12. So can't talk. So I made myself a wraparound Velcroed skirt when I was about year 8 or year 9. I mean, essentially you're making a rectangle at that age, aren't you? Sticking a bit of Velcro on it. And I think that was actually made with that IKEA rosy fabric as well. Anyway, I then did A-levels, which I made my mum a horrible dress for, which was very kind of modelled anyway. And then I moved away from home, and I decided to not study textiles. I decided to study to become a teacher. and now I am a teacher. And that's something I really love about working with the little children in reception, so they're 4 and 5 years old, is I can be really creative and have loads of fun with them. It's absolutely awesome. Most of the time we do have a lot of fun actually, and I've taken my fabric scraps for them, leftover fabrics, and the girls like to make dolly clothes, or what they do often is they make themselves a belt and then they tuck in all my scraps of fabric that I bought in to make like a rah-rah skirt sort of thing, and it's really cute. And a couple of the girls are getting into making paper dresses, so they're really into like sweetheart, really exaggerated like cartoon dresses, which they draw. We have giant sheets of sugar paper, as you remember from primary school, I'm sure. So they draw like a sweetheart neckline and then it goes out like a massive skirt, you know, and they draw hearts and stick glitter on them and all this wonderful stuff, and then they basically masking tape it onto themselves, so they walk around all day with just a paper dress, only at the front obviously, but it's really funny. So I do enjoy kind of showing, when I'm not really teaching them to sew, but teaching them to be creative, the way they think about clothes. I think that's kind of cool. Anyway, I left home, became a primary school teacher, and I didn't take my sewing machine with me, and instantly basically regretted it. So I was living in halls. Halls are pretty bleak. You don't know anyone to begin with, everything is magnolia, you're not allowed to put it up a poster, you know. Wasn't great, didn't love halls. So I remember about 6 months in going home. I went to university in the south, very, very south London, Kingston, basically Surrey. And then I was from North London, so you can basically take a train straight across. So you take a train to the middle of London from North London, where my parents were living, and then you take a train from there straight out again. And I carried, it was about an hour and a half's journey, you know, but I carried my sewing machine all that way because I was just desperate to take it back to uni with me, and my mum being like, are you sure? Like, she's kind of thinking I was nuts, I think. I was like, I need it, I just need to sew. And that was before I had anywhere near as many homemade clothes as I have now. I had just a handful in comparison. But I spent my university years sewing things in my spare time, much like I do now. And I've got some nice photos here. So I made things for myself. This was our garden when we were students, which we painted pink. And I'm wearing a little, like a fairy dress that I made, which is kind of cute. But it was all made out of polyester, so kind of cute dress in a horrible fabric. But I was only using like dirt cheap fabrics. I had no money, so I just go up to the Walthamstow market every so often and just get whatever I could for £2, you know. And I also, oh yeah, and another dress. That was another lovely thing that we painted in our garden. This fabric was so cheap that I wore it once and the pattern came off. Like wherever you sweated, it literally, you sweated off the flowers. Disgusting, frankly. This is a slightly better thing which I made. So this is us, my friend, oh my god, I'm so white I've disappeared. There we go. It's like a shiny, this is a Cynthia Rowley pattern, I think. So I'd started at university using proper patterns. Oh, you could tell these are obviously better dresses than what I'd made previously. Didn't just sew for myself though, I also sewed for friends. So we have this little polka dot skirt. I think this was for my cousin, I want to say. Little circle skirt, really easy. Ginormous. We went to a white party and my friend Claire was like, I really want to wear a huge white dress. So I made this, which is kind of crazy. You can see I'm building up my confidence here. Nothing was particularly well finished on the inside though, that's something that kind of came later. Made my friend Lou this Chinese silk dress, which was actually very pretty. She looked really well. Louise always looks gorgeous, but there she is looking like someone ashing into a can next to her. Lovely. Love that student dream. And I also knit a little bit at uni, so here's two of my friends. We were being silly, like pulling like knitting pattern poses. So I made this heart scarf for my friend, and this is like a little snood for another chum. There they are, looking cute. Loved that student house. I did love, love, love uni. Once we were out of halls, it was just amazing. And then I left university, started teaching, and spent my first year basically working all the time because it's really hard when you first start teaching. But I did make my first coat. Actually, this is my first coat, but I actually made it probably in the year before I left for uni. The year before I left uni, so when I was about 19 or 20, probably 20 when I made this coat. It looks kind of horrible in the photo, but it's actually really lovely. I even embroidered all the buttons on it with little flowers. So that was, I think, my first project where I picked this out. It's my first project I felt genuinely like, oh my god, I'm really proud of myself, you know. That really sounds really cheesy, but I did feel really, really proud of myself. I didn't even wear this coat that much, but I was just like, because it wasn't really my, you know when you've made something, you're like, oh, you learn as you go along whether things are going to be your style and whether you're going to wear them. And it takes a while to learn that. But it's just, you know, it's that first moment where you're like, oh my god, I can make anything. And as soon as I finished my NQT year, that's what I did. And I've now been teaching for 5 years, which is insane. So 4 years basically of really, really sewing my own wardrobe, and you know the rest really. I've kind of shown you a hell of a lot of what I've made already. So yeah, that is my sewing story. Oh, I've also got one more project that I wanted to show you, which I made at university, which is a quilt. I had it falling apart. I had it on my classroom chair for ages, but I appliqued like little pictures onto it. And this is very special to me because it's made up with old fabrics from my mum. So like these are things that, so there's part of the camouflage dress. That's the fabric. So yeah, it's kind of like memories on a quilt. Not all of them, of course, some of them are just plain, plain fabrics. Made in 2010, hurrah! There's a pair of pants on there, why not? And I lived, this patch is peeling off, but it's actually this is actually my favourite square. So I lived at 90, number 90 at the time. So I kind of liked everything for today. Thank you ever so much for watching. I would love to hear what started you off sewing, what's happened in your sewing journey so far, whether that be 6 months or 26 years like me. Who inspires you to sew? What motivates you to keep going? And yeah, I would love to hear and chat with you guys down in the comments below all about those things. So thank you so much for watching. Please do give this video a thumbs up as usual if you enjoyed it, and do click subscribe if you haven't already for new sewing vlogs every week. That's all for today. Bye!